brothers and sisters, and friends, and I see some enemies. In fact, I think we'd be fooling ourselves if we had an audience this large and didn't realize that there were some enemies present.
I know. Not going to happen, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be mentioned, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Even if it's not going to happen, doesn't mean it shouldn't be mentioned. Just like, well, what do you want here, Mr. Defendant? I want you to leave me alone. That's not going to happen. Well, that doesn't mean it shouldn't be talked about. It's like the reason it's not going to happen is completely unrelated to justice. Just to be clear. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so when they say, what do you want to have happen here, Mr. Defendant, whatever, we know that the best response to that, or we've discussed where a good response to that is to say, well, I want this all to be dismissed for failure to state a case, or whatever it truly is that we want, right? Not to look narrowly, but go back to the big win, right?
Because it's leave me the heck alone.
Right. It's a tactic to get you to forget what you really want and talk about the narrow options they're giving. So, and when they say that's not going to happen, in light of what I was just saying, wouldn't a good response be to say, well, what if that was the only just thing that could happen? Would you stop it from happening nonetheless?
But then wouldn't you have to be the one to prove that it's the only just thing to happen?
Right now, we're still hypothetical. He just said that's not going to happen. And point of clarification, if it was the only thing that could happen that was right, would you stop it from happening? Because he just said it's not going to happen. He just promised you that wouldn't be done. Right, wrong, or indifferent, right? So we're just making clear. It's like, okay, is that, even if it's what's right, even if it's what's right, it's still not going to happen? Isn't that a bias? Why not? You know, isn't that confessing that you're willing to do wrong? Here?
Right, he's saying it's not going to happen, but it's like, okay, well, who's he to say that it's not going to happen?
I'm backing him off that statement. So if I say, what if we discover in a moment that that's the only thing that can rightly happen? Was that still not going to happen? Oh, well, in that case, it would happen. Okay, great. Thank you very much for making it clear that you didn't mean it a second ago. So let's discuss that. And now that's the topic. You see? The topic is what we want it to be suddenly. And that's awesome.
What do I want to happen? Well, first of all, I'd like the case dismissed for prosecutorial misconduct, and I also would like the prosecutor to be sanctioned and potentially disbarred for his egregious violation of my rights.
Yeah. And then
for knowingly bringing this case forward, lacking evidence of jurisdiction.
And you call him out on it. Like, what if that's the only way that can happen? See, I got him to adjust his statement. Judges don't like that a bit. But it backs him down off of those absolutes, doesn't it? And it makes the topic of conversation the fact that this thing can be true. Exactly what we're trying to talk about, he's just admitted as a relevant topic. Do you see how he just shot himself in the foot? And he can no longer proclaim that it's irrelevant.
Yeah, because you kept it in the narrow... Well, he put it in the narrow path. You expanded it. He said, that's not going to happen.
And then put it on a better one. I like that. Thank you. Good brainstorming, guys. Help for help. All right, guys, remind me of that. I like that way too much to forget it. I think I'll remember it. Because it's basically the response to any time that you put them in a condition of saying, that's not going to happen. It's the response. I mean, you just adapt the similar kind of thing. It's like, well, what if that's the only thing that could rightly happen at all? Does it still, are you going to stop it? So it's to me, it's the natural response to when a judge says, that's not going to happen to you. Obviously, we just brought up something that he doesn't want to have happen. And I can't really think of other instances than the one we just were talking about where you've just said your end goal, and he said, I'm not going to do it, I want it dismissed. That's not going to happen. Okay, what if it's the only thing that should happen? What if we discover in a moment that it's completely clear that anything else would be wrong to do? Well, that's not going to happen either. Like, well, how do you know? It's like, have you already investigated the things we're going to discuss here? Have you already made your decision that you're not going to permit it to happen? You know, that's exactly what you're getting, that confession that they're sabotaging things, right?
Because it's something that comes up quite often.
It is. We've heard it twice in the last couple of months, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard it before in a bureaucratic mess, you know. The intention that they're having is to shut you down, just to say, that is frivolous, so don't even bother trying to discuss it. So double down. You know?
So, Mr. Woody, we're here today. We're obviously going in circles, trying to get a plea from you. You don't want to enter a plea. We're just trying to get all these things here. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Well, Your Honor, I would like to have this case dismissed for the prosecutor's lack of stating a case for his prosecutorial misconduct.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
The objection, Your Honor, point of clarification. When you say that's not going to happen, are you saying that that would not happen even in the scenario in which that was the only option to get at justice?
I'm not sure where you're getting to.
Well, it's a simple question, Your Honor. I mean, if that was the only remedy that could result in justice, would you then not consider it?
Well, how are you going to plea? He's going to hate that one. Woo! He's going to hate that shit. Woo!
Absolute statements from a judge are high-stakes game, just like they are from us. You know, we don't want to do much in the way of absolute statements either.
Not when you hit him with something like that. Woo! That's calling his bluff from a mile away.
No. You made the statement here. I'm just clarifying. Let's not get away from your statement.
You said that definitively will not happen, and you didn't clarify it that it's not going to happen. Unless.
That's not going to happen unless the prosecutor goes ahead and drops his case or finds out that his events are frivolous. No, you just simply said that's not going to happen, as though it's not an option and it's already been determined that it's not even on the table.
Yeah, it's like you've already removed some possibilities here. I'm just trying to figure out. You indicated a possibility that you were completely unwilling to do, no matter what. And so I'm just trying to figure out.
And are you already biased against me? Predetermined bias?
You're going to have to refine that. You're going to have to refine that a little bit, because that's too easy just to say, nah, not an issue.
Yeah, that'll do it. That can certainly get them to back the fuck off definitive statements. Yeah, just take their own words and throw them right back at them.